Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Cooking with the Cripple. I'm your host, the Cripple, and today, guess what, guys? The shirt is making its debut again. But today we're going to be focusing on noodles. I was going to build it up more, but just noodles. So I've got organic penne, P-E-N-N-E, regate noodles. I've got some simple macaroni shells and cheese noodles, and these ones I want to see how these turn out, but I've got some green noodles here. So they're called super greens. They're made with spinach, zucchini, broccoli, parsley, and kale. They could turn out good, yet at the same time they could turn out horrible, but I'm really excited to see how they turn out, because, I don't know, I like trying new foods. You guys are a little crooked. Alright, so first off, we're going to prepare the vodka sauce. And I like using sauces out of the pan, or out of the can or mason jar, whatever you want to call this thing. But I like using the jarred ones, but I also like to bring in some form of organic flavor, meaning something that I put into it. So for one of these, like, I'm going to use that whole jar. I'm going to use that whole jar, and possibly, why not? Possibly one of these. Actually, no. Let's switch that around. Let's switch that around and do just the big one. Just the big guy. That should be good enough for all of them. But for one of them, you don't even need sauce because it comes with sauce. But, okay, I'm going to shut up because I'm rambling. And we're just going to focus on the organic stuff that we're putting in. So, I'm going to get you guys as low as I can. Back you up. There you go. And I've got some garlic here. I've got about 3 or 4 cloves right here, and I just want to show you the proper way to prepare in case I didn't do that. But you take the heel of your hand, you place it on the knife, and then you just press down, and sometimes you have to give it a little thump, and that loosens up this outer skin right here. And once that's off, you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. So I'm gonna get this off because I don't want to make you sit here and watch the whole thing, so I'm going to get this off, and then I'm going to mince this up, or basically do this, and then we're going to get going. Oh, and also, since I've got the outer skin off, from my understanding, mincing is basically just roughly chopping, so what I like to do is I like to just go back and forth and just let the tips of the knife do the work, but as you can probably tell, I'm having difficulty because the back end keeps getting caught in the cutting board. But I like to keep it very safe, very organized. So there we go. And I leave some chunks that are bigger than others because that way it gives it more like texture if I'm using something as bland as a can versus something else. So if I'm using like a can like this or something like that, then I'm going to add a lot more flavor to it. So now that that's off, now that that's all good and well, we're going to focus on we're going to bring in some extra flavor, meaning like beef and stuff like that. Because unfortunately, I can't make what I first made in my first video. I can't do it because I don't have any. You guys are a little crooked, sorry. I'm OCD as anybody. So everything has to be perfect. But I do not have any I do not have any mushrooms to saute. So unfortunately I can't recreate it, but I will be, if you guys would like me to, I would be more than happy to return to my previous videos and basically improve upon them. But another essential item that an item that you need in the kitchen is a water bottle. Oh, that tastes good. But I'm gonna start preparing the beef that I have, and then we're just browning it, like just basically thoroughly cooking it all the way through. Nothing special. So I don't think you guys need to see that much. So we'll see you guys when it's time for adding in the sauce. So I will see you guys in a second. Alright, as you can see in the background, I've got the water boiling here and the meat browning here. So it's really just a waiting game for point A. I'm using the knife. You're not supposed to talk with the knife, but it's easier to point with than my fat finger. But I've got point A, meaning the water boiling, and then point B is the meat. So we're just waiting for that to go, and you basically just chop up the meat however you want to, and just make sure it's really small, like ground beef. And then yeah, we're gonna get to that step in a minute. So I'll see you guys in a hot minute. Alright, so as you can probably hear, the meat has finally, and I mean finally, come to a boil, come to a cooking, sizzling, whatever you call it. I'm sorry, I'm bad with terminology to begin with, so I'm sorry. But it's come to the point where you can actually physically hear it cooking. So we're gonna let that cook for 4 more minutes, and then flip it over, let it cook for 4 more minutes, and then chop it up. So, and we're just using the spatula. We're not gonna bring over the knife or anything like that. So we're just using the chopula. Yeah, the chopula. we're just using the spatula, and we're just basically doing this with the we're creating lines in it and separating it at the same time. So that's what we're doing with the spatula. So in 8 more minutes we're gonna do that. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Alright, so the penne, or I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not even gonna try the penne regate. I think that's how you pronounce that word, but I'm not sure about the first one. But these noodles, I've got those mixed in with the brain fart. That's what I've got them mixed in with. I've got them mixed in with the super greens, and I just want to see how it turns out. And honestly, if it's a mistake on my part, meaning like if I messed up, I'm just gonna cover it with some sauce. But I will see you guys when these are all done and we're ready to move on to our shells and cheese. Oh, and also I have the garlic and the beef simmering in a pot. This one right here. And the reason why I transferred it from the black one over to the silver one is because I needed the space for the noodle pan right there. So I just transferred it over and I shifted over because I use mainly the front burners. I don't like cooking with the back burners or anything like that. And the reason being is that when it's really steamy food, as food usually is when you're cooking it, but when the food's really steamy and it's really hot, I don't like sticking this part of my arm over it. I usually like to keep it over here. I don't know why. I guess this part is more conditioned to the heat. I guess I don't know. I just always like using the front burners. I don't like reaching over stuff because I might put my hand in the food that I'm making and burn myself. That's another like fear that I have. So that's the reason why the black pan has disappeared. It's in the sink right now. I'm washing it while I'm waiting for the noodles to come to a boil. Well, not come to a boil, but, well, cook. And then after that, we're going to just empty it out, restart, and then shells and cheese. Excuse me if you heard me burp. I'm sorry. That's what happens when I eat peanut butter. But anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far, and I will see you guys when these dang noodles are done. Alright, so I just got done with the the super greens, and the one that I can't pronounce. So we're gonna start making our shells and cheese. I just want to make sure that I'm saying everything correctly and I'm not labeling it wrong. But we're gonna do the same thing that we did. We're gonna add in our penne rigate. Oh, I added in a Spanish accent to that. That didn't sound right. But anyways, we're gonna add that in and then we're gonna be done. So this one is a simpler design, or not design. This is a simpler recipe because the recipe is right here. Like, the recipe is right here on the box. So there you go. But anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying, and I'll be back in a minute when I start doing the recipe. But what I was doing off camera is I added in the beef and the garlic, and I just had those kind of simmering and, you know, getting to know each other essentially. But I finally added in the noodles and whatnot into the noodles and the sauce. Why am I having such a brain fart moment? But I've got the boiling started over here, and then we're gonna focus on the other recipes. So I will talk to you guys in a hot minute. Alrighty, so as you can see, I've added in the noodles. Well, you can't really see it because it's not very good, but I added in the noodles, and I'm letting them boil 8 to 10 minutes. I'd say about 9, just to be safe. But I've also got this going. I threw in everything together. Ow! 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 Ow, that was hot. I forgot that that does that when it steams. But I threw everything together, and I'm just letting it cook the rest of the way in terms of, like, doneness. And also I'm letting all the flavors mix together and get to know each other. So I hope you guys are enjoying, and I will see you when these bad boys are done. Alrighty, so both noodles are done, and the reason why I say both noodles is because I did add in non-recommended noodles to this recipe, meaning like they weren't specifically made to be boiled at the directions told. But now it's time to add in the Velveeta cheese, or whatever kind of cheese this is. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this cheese. Cheese to me should not be this unnatural. Although you're talking to somebody who's from Wisconsin, so you can call me a cheese snob if you like. But there we go. There we go. And there we go. Alright. I'm going to be back in a minute after I throw this away and stir this in so that it's nice and creamy. Oh, I know what I forgot to tell you guys. You're going to add in about a cup of milk into this, and that should make it all the more creamier. And the reason why I say about is because my mother doesn't measure when she makes macaroni and cheese, because we've been making it so long, it's just like, bam, there you go. But I'm going to add in about a cup just to experiment, and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so this is about what it should look like when you've got everything right, the ratio right. But I'm going to take it one step further, and I've got some... Excuse me, I'm suppressing a burp. But I've got some Swiss cheese, just slightly off camera. Excuse me. And I'm going to add that in. And then once that melts in and just adds that little bit of sustenance to the wateriness of this, we should be completely done. So I will see you guys in a hot minute. Alrighty, so here's the thing. I forgot about the waiting time in terms of the macaroni and cheese, so we're just going to have to wait like 10 minutes for it to like set up and not be liquidy, because I added in another cheese. I added in Colby Jack because I like that one and I like Swiss, so I don't see the problem with mixing them together. But I added them in, and sorry, you guys are a little down. I added them in, and I just need to wait for them to set up, and then we can plate. No problem. So I hope you guys are having fun following along. If you're following along, if you're not, and you're just watching just to learn something new, fine by me. But I hope you guys are having fun. So I will see you guys in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Sorry if I cut myself off. I really wish sometimes, first off, this stuff looks delicious, as you guys could see. But we're back at the taste test table, and it looks delicious, but at the same time, like, I'm a little disappointed in some of the presentation. But I hope you don't come here to get like a 5-star meal in terms of presentation. I hope you come here for presentation to be a little lacking, but taste to be spot on. Like, you guys can focus on presentation. I'll focus on the taste kind of thing and figure out which tastes, well, taste good, and then you can copy me, but make it look a little better. So we're going to first try the super greens and the other noodle. For the life of me, if you gave me $1 million, I'd never be able to pronounce. Really garlicky, which I don't mind. And the overdoneness of the noodles, yeah, it can be a little off-putting, but at the same time, it works really good because it tastes really good and it's really soft on the palate. So we're going to go in for a chunk of meat. Make sure to always blow on your food if it's fresh off the, sorry, I'm salivating over this. If it's fresh off of the stove over there. So wow, that tastes really, really good. Like, I think, like, if I had to pick a truly, truly positive part out of this part, I would have to pick the meat. The meat has absorbed all of the flavors that it's been exposed to. And I'm sorry, I'm swallowing so much because I'm salivating so much. But it's picked up all the flavors that it's been exposed to, and it's just really good meat. All right, now to clean our palates and try the macaroni and cheese with Kobe Jack and Swiss. Okay. I can tell you it's extremely hot because some of the juice from this noodle dripped down on my shirt and it's hot. That is the second time this has burned me. But it's not hot at all. Like, the juice was just hot or something. I don't know. You can get you can kind of taste the cheeses, and it's creamy, but at the same time cheesy. I think all around, yeah, presentation was a little lacking, but I'm not going to beat myself up over that. But this has been Cooking with the Cripple. I've been your host, the Cripple, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.